Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show this week on the Other Line Canada. Looks like we've got a whole bunch of people already checking in. If you're there, say hello. Welcome to the show this week. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. The number one thing Adam, Kyle, and I talked about behind the scenes, the charity fish on. And the charity fish on is well underway. We have some pretty awesome measurements coming in, some pretty cool leaders, and even better, an awesome competition all around. And no one's friends off yet. Hopefully no one will be. Mitch, I don't know if you're watching. I hope you're doing well. Mitch is out for Walleye Wars. And last I checked, Big Bryce was in the lead. Now, that might have changed today, but we're watching some pretty important people there. Dana, hello. Welcome to the show. Zach, good to see you again. Talk about Slayers. Zach, you've been posting some awesome stuff. Good to see. Mr. Yanitsky, welcome to the show. Brody, what's Brody saying? He failed today. Lots of action, but no Browns in the net. Well, they will live to see another day, I guess. Greg, Mr. Greg Rice, I know you're feeling the pressure. We're here for your moral support. And I'll tell you what, Adam's in the background. I want to say he's cheering you on. But what blows me away the most about the Horseshoe Kid, this dude can grow a beard overnight. I don't know what's up with the stash, if it's a good luck stash or what. But Luke, welcome to the show. Good to see you on here. Mitch says Bryce is still leading. Mitch, I'll send you a link for the after show wrap-up if you want to jump on. Or if you do want to jump on before, just say it in here. I'll send you the link while the boys are talking. Mr. Schwartz. Now, anyone that doesn't know who Delmore is, Delmore, Kyle's been dreading you. We've already chatted. He's got a big smile on his face. I know you guys have lots of questions for him, so let's get him in here. Mr. Kyle Kelm, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, but I will apologize now. I'm doing a number one broadcast no-no, and that is that I'm sucking on hulls.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
It's taken me 4 days to get my voice back, but it's back. We're ready to talk fly fishing because you don't spin cast, right?
For the most part, no, unless I'm going for basically sturgeon now. That's about the only time I pull out the spin rod.
And not only that, I wouldn't say forced you because that sounds kind of mean. You've actually extended your grip and went for walleye for the first time in 15 years.
It's been a while, yeah. Figured I better do a little bit of pre-tourney fishing, and the opportunity arose, so I jumped on her.
Now, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's sort of unpatriotic not to fish walleyes in Alberta. How do you feel about that?
I leave them to the guys that want to bonk fish. They're the eating fish, and I don't know. I've been bit enough times by pike that it doesn't really appeal to me anymore. I'll fish them occasionally, but it's not something that I'll go after day.
I've had to actually change the term of walleye. Because of the way our fisheries experience management and catch limits, I call them the poaching fish.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Do we need to say any more?
Yeah, the whole tag system's something else. They really got to improve upon that. It's just a money grab as far as I'm concerned.
And regulations in particular, right? It's all about reading the regulations. How well versed are you when it comes to regulations?
If bodies of water I fish, I know the regulations.
And you fish a lot of them. A lot I've fished with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about the lifestyle you carry with pontoon fishing. I don't think many people do it better than you do it. It's always fun to watch, but I feel like I bring the comedic relief when you get to see how much weight I put on my pontoon, right?
It's always, let's see how much gear he can pile on this thing and still stay floating. It's good times.
I remember the first time we fished, which was it Blood Indian?
I think so.
Yeah, I came to Hannah, and I remember the look of disappointment on your face that morning when we launched. And here's me with my fly rod, my spin cast rod, my jigs, my spinners, my flies, just weighing it down, and you're just showing up with your rod and set up, ready to go. It was an awesome day, though, for what it's worth.
Yeah. Any day on the water is better than a day at work.
Now, you're in the fish on, and you've put up a pretty hefty measurement week one right off the bat. You got a 24-inch rainbow on there. You're competing against Tash. What's your thought? Are you going to be going for an upgrade? Where do you think you stand with a 24-inch rainbow right now?
Oh, it's 24 is a pretty healthy fish. You don't see a whole bunch in Alberta that size. unless you put in a ton of hours, really.
Yep.
But definitely going for the upgrade.
Yep.
I got days off. Weather looks good, so we fish.
Now, when you say days off, do you legitimately have holiday time, or is this one of those things I called in sick?
No, I actually used a holiday day. I'm going out tomorrow, so
Okay, good. So we're not going to get you in trouble that way. That's
no,
good. We've all been in that predicament. So
I got a pretty
Delmar,
good boss. He'd understand anyways if I had to. So
well, hey man, you're just giving it. Now, you did mention yesterday was, as far as open water season goes, it was a miserable day, right?
oh, it was something else. Drizzled all morning, wind. Yeah, it was a challenge.
Makes it super tough. Well, let's bring him in. Mitch isn't with us this week, so I guess I can call him. Are you good, Adam? Yeah, he's giving me thumbs up. We all know why I ask.
How's it going,
Adam,
guys?
good, bud. How you doing?
Good.
I figured this is a good opportunity to bring you in because we're talking rough fishing. And I think for any of us, the two of you, especially with what Kyle went through yesterday and what it feels like you've been going through a lot lately, is tough fishing. And the reason I bring it up is you said something to me the other day when we fished this weekend. And it's true. Most people are fair weather fishermen. When we are going fishing in some of these places, it's great to have nobody around, but we have to suffer with the miserable weather. And I didn't believe it until I saw it this weekend when you and I fished with Marcy on Friday night. It was miserable. There was nobody around. Come Saturday, packed. It was relatively decent out. It was packed. What, especially for you, Kyle, what are you finding with being in Southern Alberta with what you're dealing with? Are you finding that there's a lot of pressure? Is it tough to get out on the lake? I mean, obviously weekdays is a bit different, but.
Well, the weather definitely plays a huge factor down here. It gets to an extent where you just can't cast a fly rod anymore. It's so windy, or you can't be on a boat. There's waves they'll put you down. So you're at the mercy of the weather, really. But if you can hit that water at those peak spots right before and right after that storm, like if you can see the storm clouds coming, you got about a half hour, 45-minute window there where it's usually gravy.
Yep. Now, I don't think she's on here, but Alex, if you're watching, I don't know if your wife's watching, I'm going to ask you two this question, seeing as we're talking about weather. Do you feel that the fish bite more or are more active when it's raining?
I think that's an old wives' tale myself. I think it's got more to do with barometric pressure.
And like species dependent big time as well. Like I mean, when we were sturgeon fishing, like there's no time in the rain where I'm like, okay, the bite's gonna shut off. Like I'm definitely confident in the rain. Confident in the dark as well. I think that's why I fish through storms a lot, is some of my biggest fish come from when it's the worst out. So I definitely don't shut it down when it gets a little too rainy. Wind is a different factor, especially down by where Kyle is. Fly fishing, especially when it's 80, 90, 100 kilometer an hour winds. I mean, it's time to shut it down regardless. So I'm not afraid of the rain.
Can't put your life at the risk either for a fish.
No, you definitely, especially on a pontoon.
You get to shore,
pontoon fishing in 100K winds.
It's no problem for me. I'm like a Coast Guard cutter, man. I just cut through those waves. No big deal. I'm already sitting half in the water. What am I worried about? Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I think I'm starting to sort of show my age a little bit because Marcy outfishes me in poor conditions. I will say that for us a couple weeks ago when we were doing the poaching fish, as I'm now calling them, when we were doing walleye, I mean, it was rain and snow, man. I'm ready to pack it in. And this chick is slaying fish, destroying me because beating me 10-3 wasn't enough. It had to be like 30-8. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I would agree with you, Kyle, that the barometric pressure does have something to do with it. Do you guys follow that stuff much at all for apps? Do you have an app you use for anything? Or do you just lick your finger, stick it in the air? And
I definitely have an app that I generally follow. It's right the majority of the time. They're never ever 100% right, but it's funny. The same app I used in Central Alberta, It was the exact opposite of Southern Alberta. I'll just give you that one.
Adam?
Honestly, like, I'm not so sure. Like, I don't really check the barometric pressure ever. Like, when you were with me this weekend, when I was like, yeah, okay, like, it's been snowing here for 3 days, dude. Like, tonight's going to be okay. Tomorrow night's going to be the night. Like, I feel out the weather by, like, my best app is the Weather Network.
Yep.
So, like, when I know things are coming and things are changing and you're getting clear after having, I guess, a barometric pressure drop and things are starting to rise again, you're going to get that bite. I don't really check it, I guess, is my issue.
Yeah. For me, I have the the $10 Cabela's barometric pressure gauge in the garage.
I remember you had it in the car on the way to Manitoba.
I used to put it off the mirror, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to feel like maybe it's kind of made by politicians, because I'll tell you what, man, that thing reads that it's always good fishing. I'm yet to see it really produce good fish on a good fishing day. So either I dropped it. I want to say it worked in Manitoba because, dude, I think we did awesome in Manitoba, which we should just be coming back
Did
from
you have it on the
Manitoba.
weekend? Because we killed it on the weekend
50% of the
again.
time.
I left it in the garage, but I can tell you that it did not change more than 10 bars in the last 4 or 5 days. So I don't know.
We
I
did
guess
well
we'll
this
see.
weekend.
Yeah. Well, we did awesome this weekend. I'm happy we came back Sunday because we needed the almost 2 days to recover. Like I still can't get over it, man. That was an awesome experience. I can't thank you enough.
It was a good time.
That was a lot of fun. I deliberately let the big one go just so that Marcy could take the win.
You got to do what you got to do.
I whispered, but I feel like she's watching. So I think I might have just put myself in the doghouse. We'll see what happens in an hour. Well, let me bring up my banner here. We got lots of people checking in. Rob, good to see you, Rob. Dana, I think we said hi to you. You're actually the first one on the show this week. Usually there's a little competition. Dana got it this week. Greg, now Adam, I do know that you posted a 54-inch sturgeon.
Yeah, 54.
I saw you doing this in the background. Now, I do know that was moral support for Greg, correct?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. I'm pumped for Greg. I'm stoked for him, honestly. Now that we're in the competition, I'm stoked for him. I want to see a 60 from one of us.
Yep.
I've seen a couple 60s on the shore. I've grabbed a couple by the tail this weekend, Greg. I'm going for mine, buddy.
Yep. We did see some really nice fish this weekend.
Tailed 3 60s in the past 3 days, so.
I mean, I don't want to play favorites. I really want to see you guys both break the 60-inch. But after seeing what you guys have to go through to be able to encounter that, because it was my first time for sturgeon. Kyle, what's your best sturgeon? Do you remember? I don't know. We saw pictures in the intro video.
That was a wicked one.
I'm not really a measurer. Like before this tournament, I really didn't measure fish. I eyeballed them. I don't know. 4 foot. I don't even have a clue.
That's good. Like the less that you can handle them, the better. Like I see a lot of sturgeon getting measured like in the dirt where they don't need to be. When you watch the video, guys, you'll see them. They'll be on a rubber mat, great big rubber mat. Like take care of them, guys.
Yeah, and it's actually, while we're on this topic, I mean, we got lots of topics to talk with Kyle, but I think for the three of us, this is something else that everyone else would kind of agree with. Kyle, you and I talked about this before the show, is that because of the way we angle and the way we enjoy the sport, and so much of it for what we want is, the thrill of the hunt. I will often say I would rather catch one big fish versus catch 100 small ones. Is not just fish handling, but being able to remember it. I mean, Adam, you've got your YouTube channel. We get to see a lot of stuff like that. Kyle and I were talking before the show about how hard it is to get a really good picture for a memory or, social media to be able to remember your catch. And I would agree with Kyle. Sometimes it's really hard to find A, someone to come with you, but B, someone to come with you that can take a really good picture.
Competent, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to take this personal because I've always said that I take the best pictures of my fish, but I've been failing Marcy lately, but yet all the pictures Adam took were awesome.
I have lighting though. I have 2 lights there that sit there and shine down on the person so that like at nighttime your pictures are gold.
Yep. Kyle, do you
Knowing how
ever
to
have?
take pictures is a big thing too. Like
That's
even
the
with me,
problem. When you're by yourself, it's different. When I'm by myself and filming for YouTube, it's sick. I don't even have to take a picture ever. The fish just gets released right away because I have the light there and my camera's rolling. So I'm just like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Bye. And it works out really well.
Yeah, what I got into was having my phone set up on a tripod, but the issue always was when I was working, my phone was always ringing, and obviously I can't put it in airplane mode. Kyle, I know for you, especially pontoon fishing, like how hard is it for you to be able to take proper pictures? Because I know with your setup, your mobile, even the measure for the fish on, like you said, it's about releasing that fish. What's the best way for you to be able to get the picture? Like it must be a struggle with the way you're set up.
well, with the pontoon boat, it definitely is a struggle. That's for sure. The way I went into it is I knew I was going to have to fish fairly close to shore, so I stayed within 30-40 feet of shore for the most part, most of the day. I knew if I got a good one that I'd have to land my boat, at least get my feet on the ground and go from net to wet tube to measure it, and that's how I did it. It was, and then trying to hold the phone with one hand, and yeah, there was no tail pinching. It was just not happening.
It's always the panic and the fumble.
Well, and when you got that big fish, the adrenaline's running. Like the last thing you want to do is drop your phone.
And
Yeah.
trout are crazy, especially rainbows. So like a lot of times they're going to be kicking on you. That'd be tough.
I don't know how many I've had slap me in the face and bounce off the pontoon, and they're gone forever. Catch another day.
I can think of a specific body of water that you and I fished a couple years ago, Kyle, where I think I still have the picture where I literally snapped it from about 60 feet away just as the fish flopped out of your hand and back into the lake. Like it's definitely a quick release style of fishing, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is. As soon as he leaves the net, there's a 50-50 of what's going to happen. He's either going back right away or going back in your net, but it's different. That's for sure.
The part I've always struggled with that style of fishing is being able to first get the fish to the boat. I mean, I probably lost 80% of all my catches before it even got to the boat. But the rest of it, man, I'm starting to think maybe I don't have the talent or I just don't get out enough. That could be very much the problem, right? So,
well, knowing your equipment's a big thing. That's for sure. Long rods excel when you're that close to the water too. So like kayaks, pontoons, the longer rod you can get, the better off you are, because you gain that extra reach when you're trying to extend one arm with the rod and net with the other arm. It just gives you that extra. So I'd say a 10 foot over a 9 foot, you got an extra foot.
Yeah.
Foot of reach.
And seeing as we're on the topic, I mean, we might as well talk about it. You had a tip in 5 questions with last night, which actually I think most people aren't aware of. And that is with the boater safety kit when it comes to pontoons. A lot of people don't realize that is a requirement. That pontoon is considered a watercraft, right?
Exactly. And also, as soon as you put any sort of motor on it other than human power, you're considered a watercraft, and you actually need your boater's license for it too.
What size are you running for a trolling motor right now on yours?
I run a 40-pound Minn Kota on mine. I just like that extra power. They say 30 tops, but I've ran a 40 on mine for as long as I can remember, and having that extra power when the wind picks up is definitely nice.
Well, that's funny because I run a 40 and I feel like I need an 80. So if 30 is max for that, I'll tell you what, man, I noticed the last time. Well, actually, no, I didn't get out on it last year because I decided to tangle with a deer on a route. But I do remember I can burn through a 12-volt battery relatively quick at my size. So if they're only rated for 30, I guess I won't look at anything bigger.
You got to be smart with battery conservation too. Like most of the time running a motor and a GPS, you can get a full day off. But when you're really pushing wind and waves, and because those things, they're almost unsinkable. Like I'm sure something could happen, but they're pretty steady. And you can burn through a lot of juice on your battery in a hurry because those Minn Kotas full out, they eat some power.
Yeah, and actually that's a lie. I did do it with Sebastian last year, and I think we were at Newell. It was really windy. I got maybe 4 or 5 hours out of that battery, man. It was that was a sight to be seen for sure. A whale out of water.
Yeah. Everyone's ended up on the wrong side of the lake at some point.
Yeah. How many days do you average a year in your tube? Because I know you put a lot of time in it, right? Or try to.
Oh, for sure. During the summer, at least 1 to 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Be my average.
Must be nice to live so close to the lake.
It is. That's why I moved down here. Beat Central Alberta, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, we know the other thing you enjoy doing with all your time is tying flies, and you got into double K flies. You've been doing some phenomenal product down there. What's business been like for you this year?
It's been pretty good. It's one of them years where I haven't had to do a lot of advertising per se. I got a pretty good client base that keep coming back, and works out really well when you don't have to hunt for it. You just stay as busy as you want to be.
Yep. And one of the things I know you mentioned last night, which actually I'm still trying to wrap my head around, which is the whole quality of workmanship if there's an issue with your products. Obviously, you stand behind all your products, but if someone was to have an issue with the product, you have a way of kind of looking after them, right?
Oh, for sure. I've had a couple individuals where the post office has lost the parcel. It's not my fault. It's not their fault. But when that happens, I'll make sure that they're taken care of. I'll retie the order or whatever to make someone happy. There's no issues there.
Yeah.
A happy customer comes back. That's why you pay for quality too.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing we try to drive home, especially with this show. And we've talked about it over the last few shows, which is understanding the quality of the product based on what you're paying for it. And typically for a lot of people like yourself that are tying your own flies and stuff like that, I mean, what you're putting into it for time, you're not getting back in value in most scenarios, right?
No, you might make a little bit over expenses, but you're not paying for your time. You're basically giving up your time, and you might make a little bit extra to buy a few more materials the next time you go to the fly shop. So
there's something about that addiction, which is probably another reason why you decided not to live close to somewhere that has lots of supplies, right?
Yeah. I got one pretty good little store down here now, but that's when one of the big problems with fly tying is supply and demand. Trying to get X material from a shop, and you end up buying from 4 to 5 different fly shops to find all the materials you need. So
yep.
It's definitely one of those things you either have to jump in with both feet and take the plunge, or pick away at it here and there, but don't expect to be able to tie everything.
Absolutely. Is the fly shop still for sale down there? I know last time Marcy and I went through, it was up for sale.
I think one of the two is still up for sale. Yeah.
You're buying it, Adam? Is that what you said?
Oh, dude, if Doge goes up, I'm buying it.
Let's do a whole lot of doging right now.
900 grand.
Yeah, it's pricey as the last time I.
But you get it. Listen to me. You get the fly shop, and you get the piece of land next to it, and you build a nice little house there, forever home with your wife, and it's amazing and beautiful, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. 900 is a tough pill to swallow. That's I meant to look to see how much it was worth. I did not realize it was going for that much money.
Yeah, but think about it. It's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. It's an investment.
Yeah. You got to stock the place too. That's the problem.
I'll tell you what.
I don't think it comes stocked. Like, I think that's the deal.
Nothing comes for
no
free
inventory.
Yeah, no inventory.
Well, I mean,
fly gear is expensive. But hey, you guys don't really have a spin shop down there, and a fly spin shop would do good.
Yeah, for sure. Just a tackle store. There we go.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a horrible idea. So I think, conceively, let's put in an offer.
Someone buys it before I do.
Let's put in an offer. Kyle, you put up $450. Adam, you put up $450, and I'll promote you guys for free.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible deal. Are you going to do the guiding, the rowing?
I
don't want to guide anyone.
Like guide a 400-pound setup or 420 pounds in a one-man
Oh no, you're gonna
pontoon?
be guiding. You're gonna be guiding bulls on the old man, rowing for people.
Oh, for sure. I mean, considering I can't swim, I feel like I'd be the perfect guy for guide and rescue opportunities. Yes.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Me swim or me guide?
Both.
Both. Both.
I'm not sure I want to see you swim with waders on. That's pretty dangerous. But I'll watch you swim some other time. It'd be pretty funny.
Hey, anything's
Is that
possible.
rude to say? Is that rude to say?
Hey, it's not rude if you're both willing to put up 450 grand and make me an equal partner. I'm in, man. I'll do anything for a few bucks. Delmore's got a question for you, Kyle, and we'll see if you can make sense of this because I think Delmore is in the Delmore. Question for Kyle: I see you really like fishing the PRD. Can you give a novice some tips on spinning up one of these on the vise?
Oh. Yeah, they're good. You need some good green dubbing and good foam wrapper, and you're good to go.
What is a PRD for any of us that don't know? Insider joke?
Yeah, insider joke. Yeah, good old fish whistles.
Are you surprised that Delmore from Dulmore would ask such a question?
Not surprised at the least.
It's funny.
I'm not surprised that it slipped by either.
Yeah.
I like the way Kyle's blushing, which is why I like to stir the pot. I think that's all I'll say about that. What did you bring us for flies today, Kyle? I know we talked about your favorite last night. Did you bring one?
I did. So my number one producing fly. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
The old balanced damsel. That fly has caught me more fish than any other fly combined. It's got a mylar underbody on it with a slightly dubbed body and some flash in there, and those bead chain eyes, they glisten, and there's something about it, the olive or the combination of all the above, and fish just love them.
Now, for an example, how long would a fly? Oh yeah, what do you got there, Adam?
It's a damsel. It's just brand new. It's never been used.
Yeah, mine have all came out of my fly box.
It's a little
Some of them
fluffy
are still wet.
It's still a little bit wet from yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a tip for some people.
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, throw those damsels. If you worked yesterday, hey.
Every body of water, every lake, every creeks, river, everything. You find damsels year-round everywhere in Alberta and North America. They're one of every fish species' major food sources. It's as good as minnows in most places.
Are you typically running it under an indicator, or do you strip it sometimes? Or
I find with these balanced damsels, they are so versatile. I've run them under indicators. I'll run them on a sink line, trolling. I'll strip them. There really isn't a wrong way to fish these things. I find with being balanced when you're trolling them, they sit about that 45-degree angle and wiggle back and forth, just like a Rapala almost. And yeah, they're just a deadly fly.
Cool.
I always make sure I got at least a half a dozen in the box.
How long does it take you to tie one of those up?
About 5 minutes once you get in the roll of things. It's getting everything set up to get production style, basically. You got to grab all your materials, get them prepped, and once you got everything prepped, it's not too bad, but it's that prep time that gets you, especially when you're changing patterns every 3 flies or stuff like that.
Right. The part I struggle with, and I will probably never get into tying flies, is these. I do not know how people are able to tie flies and have the precision and the accuracy to be able to do it without getting frustrated. Because I'll tell you what. What's that, Adam?
I can't do it.
No.
No,
There's definitely
I hate it.
Tips and tricks when it comes to it, and a few techniques definitely help you out, because I'm in the same boat you are, Todd. I'm not quite as bad, but yeah, when you're dealing with size 20 stuff and the feather you're trying to tie on is not even an eighth of the size of your finger, it makes things fun sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I mean, I would even think just the strain on your eyes alone and the ability to concentrate would have to be, something I'm just not able. I see too many shiny things.
I
It's
know.
just
I
not
think I
something
need
I can do.
bifocals. It's getting bad.
That's why I'm always like, hey, Kyle. Hey, Kyle. Oh, wait. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Kyle. Man, oh, man, it just doesn't end. I got a box full of stuff I don't even use, but I will use it one day. That's the important part.
We'll make sure you get on them one of these days.
Absolutely. The other thing, too, is, Kyle, so if someone wants to reach out to you, they don't know what they want to use for flies, what do you typically recommend? Is that something you walk them through the process, or what works best from your end?
Oh, for sure. Anyone that's got questions, I'm always more than willing to help as best as I can. I don't know everything. Everyone's still learning in this sport. I don't care what you say. You've been doing it 5 years. You've been doing it 25 years. You're still learning. There's still things everyone doesn't know. So everyone's got their own technique too.
Yeah.
One person's technique might work for you, but what you got going on might just work best for you too. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, if someone's struggling, I'm always there to send them some good advice. So I've had a lot of customers say, what's the best way to rig up this fly, or how should I fish this? And yeah, just tell them how to do it, and then it's up to them.
Now, see, maybe a secret I'm releasing here. I'm wondering if you do this. So when I used to make jigs, I used to tell people, hey, Adam, why don't you tell me what you want for a jig? And then when he'd give me a color combination, I've done this to Mitch too. Mitch, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'll apologize now. Be like, hey, yeah, I can make you up some jigs. What do you want? And then they give me their color patterns and how they want everything laid out. So I make an extra dozen for myself. Do you ever get people that tell you, hey, Kyle, this is how I want it. This is the way I want it. This is the way I want it delivered. And you're like, why didn't I ever think of that?
Well, yeah, for sure. Like I get lots of them where a guy will just send me a picture of a fly and, hey, can you do this for me? And sure, I usually make it happen. And the funny thing is the rejects, they usually go in my box, and then that's how trial and error. If the rejects work, the good ones must really work good. So.
And I don't know if he's watching, but I guess this is probably a good opportunity for me to apologize to Ty Batty for going to your tire, Kyle Kelm, to get some of your secret patterns. So, Ty, I apologize. Okay, I'm going to be honest again.
What did Ty fix those on? I need those.
I went fishing with Ty this winter, and he had some product from Kyle, and this kid schooled me. Like, I came back from the lake, we drove back, and the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, I really want to like this kid, but I suck. I don't know if I can handle losing that bad. He beat me bad. We got back into service, and he didn't even get a chance. I messaged Kyle, and I'm like, listen, whatever you tied for Ty, I want 6, and I want him now. Well, 4 days later, I get a message from Ty, and Ty's like, I went for more jigs, and Kyle said he's out of material. He sold them to you. I'm not going to lie, man. I will take a competitive advantage, and I've got 6 competitive advantages for next time Ty and I go fishing. So thanks for that, Kyle. Not that you're a secret killer, but yeah, we'll just leave that there.
Friends. When a friend asks.
Brody had a good question for you on the damsel. Is it a one trick species or a multi-species? What do you find? Do you use it for multiple species?
I have pretty much caught every fish species in southern Alberta on a damsel pattern. I've caught 36 to 40 inch pike on damsels, caught walleye, whitefish, brook trout, rainbow trout, brown trout. Yeah, there's really not everything eats small. Like some of the biggest walleye I've seen caught have been caught on size 12, 14 prince nymphs, which you would never think a walleye to be eating prince nymphs, but if it's down there and it looks good to them, fish eat things.
No, I've never seen you raise your eyebrows, so I was going right to you. I saw you raise your eyebrows, and you're like, "Oh, the light went off."
Big old pike on a damsel is pretty cool. I know there's a kid up on the NSR, Coy Cade. That kid catches a lot of walleye on like chronomids and stuff, which is pretty cool, and like balanced leeches and stuff. It's pretty sick.
Those big river fish, they're opportunistic, and if it floats in front of their face, they open their mouth and Yeah, it's almost it makes me mad when walleye and pike are biting when you're trying to target, say, trout or whites or whatever, because 90% of the time you'll hook them, you'll see them quick, and your stuff is gone.
No.
If you're lucky, you can land them, but it's about 30% will make it to shore.
I don't know if I'm crossing the lines here for you, Kyle, but Clayton's asking for you to send him a picture of one. Now, knowing that you're competitors for the fish on, I'll leave that up to you, Clayton. I can't say if Kyle will send you pictures of his damsels, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
We'll make it happen. I'll do you one better, Clayton. This is the muddler minnow that I caught that 24-inch rainbow on yesterday. Ooh. Pink underbelly on it. Nice rolled deer hair body. Can't really see the tail, but a little bit of red goose in there. And yeah, that was the trick yesterday.
I'm sure Clayton will be looking forward to your message. Gibson has an awesome... Now, Adam, it's so funny this comes up. Gibson has an awesome question, and I know Kyle will want to answer this, but you and I actually talked about this. Can sturgeon be caught on the fly?
I'm working on it.
He's working on it, folks. If anyone can catch a sturgeon on a fly, it's Adam. Kyle, thought about trying it?
I think it'd be doable, but you'd have to put in a ton of hours. It's just like anything else. They'll eat bait fish.
I fish 40 hours a week. I fish sturgeon 40 hours a week at least right now. And I've tried for 3 years to get one on a fly rod, and I've never got one.
The problem with, like, at this time with the rivers running the way they're running, your problem is getting to the bottom. Yeah. You just need so much weight to get down there to get to where they're at. Like, full sink line with a jig head fly of some sort on there might get the job done, but yeah, you
honestly, I'll throw a 6-ounce weight with a bunny leech behind it. I'm not even kidding you.
No,
It works. I feel like this is an
I catch suckers.
I'm not going to say it's impossible.
I catch suckers on it. I use eggs like this too, like little pink eggs.
Yep.
And I've caught suckers on those. Lots of goldeye. But I've yet to get a sturgeon. When I do, believe me, you guys will see it happen.
I mean, I've seen you microfish for minnows this weekend for a new species. So as far as I'm concerned,
cool or what?
That was by far the coolest thing ever.
I enjoy that stuff quite a bit.
Did you post that picture?
Yes. I haven't posted any of my sturgeon. I just post microfish. It's cooler that way.
That was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. So, I mean, if someone can catch something like that on a micro hook, you know, I think we have faith in you, Adam. You're going to be, maybe you and Kyle have to go fly fish for sturgeon.
I'm trying. I have a spot.
One of these days.
It's going to eventually work out for me.
What do you even use for a rod for an application like that?
10 weight.
10 weight?
Well, that's what I've been using. Anyways, we'll see what happens when I hook one. I don't know what's going to happen yet.
Well, one thing's for certain.
On 10 weight, so a sturgeon ain't much different than a tarpon.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like as long as I feather the reel, I'll be okay. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I want to be there for that.
I'd love to see that video.
You've seen me run down the river before, Todd. It'll happen.
Okay, well, let's go one step further. I've seen you jump into the river at high flow to get your PB sturgeon. So, yeah, you're crazy.
I have an issue.
Rattlesnake whisperer over here. Brody's just saying a lot of his buddies have caught their personal best with a bead-headed Prince nymph. And his PB bull is a size 6 stonefly. So there's Brody releasing some top secret Brody Hughes type product. Oh, look what Turnbull's got.
Stonefly. Golden stones, though.
Maybe like Brody stole. Did Brody steal that tip from you? Is he watching your YouTube channel, maybe?
I think me and Brody just became friends on Facebook. Hi, Brody.
I love Brody. We used to be in some waffles together, so I don't like him anymore. He always won.
You guys and your waffles.
He's actually saying that there is someone in the States. I think, Adam, did you not mention someone in the States had caught one on a fly rod? You had seen it? He's just saying that on there, a big black one on YouTube.
Yeah, There's a dude and his girlfriend who do it down in the States, and they're actually going to start offering guided trips for it. They get them in little creeks, so they'll go up the little trips to spawn, and they get them up there. So I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll figure it out.
Water to cover makes sense.
Yeah,
that would be something to be seen.
They're getting them in like extremely clear water. It's pretty cool.
I just know after this weekend, I'm not interested in trying them on the fly. Thanks. Maybe Marcy will be.
Yeah, I think Marcy's into them on the fly for sure.
Yeah, she's got the guns for sure, man. If anyone can bring them in, it'll be her. Me, no, I'm good. You guys go ahead. It's all good. Well, Kyle, last night I asked you a question. You wanted to pick 176, and I asked you, and it was because of page likes. We have 483, 17 away from 500. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll find something to give away for 500. So if everyone wants to like and share the page, we get to 500 for next week. I might have something sweet to throw in the pot for them. I don't know. Shot in the dark. Maybe Bobby Ziegler's got something he could throw in for that. Just kind of throwing it out there. We get her to 500 page likes. Maybe we'll do a draw next week for, I don't know, something from Bobby, Rod Lab. I don't know, maybe an eyelet, a rod seat, free rod seats. Anyone up for free rod seats? That'd be cool, right?
Sure. Maybe it doesn't fly.
I could use. I want a 3-weight really, just for golden trout.
A 3-weight?
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan 3-weight.
I have a brand new 8 that looks awesome.
That Liger, Blue Halo Liger that he has, that's a beauty.
The dude is posting some sick stuff.
Yeah.
I also saw Marcy's reel seat tonight, so her rod will be ready here in a couple of weeks. It may not end up in her rod case. I don't know. We'll see what happens. 176. This is what's cool, and some fun facts. Well, maybe fun facts for me, boring for everyone else. 176 was the 176 page like. Now, before I mention his name, I got a fun tip for you. What if I told you the very first page like we had was Kyle Kelm? Now, either you have too much time on your hands and you're sitting there waiting for me to invite you to stuff and you just like clicking things when I invite you. Kyle, thank you for being the first page like winner. You
didn't even know that.
You won nothing, so congratulations on that. I don't have a prize for you being the first page like, but I did transfer you $20 already for that, for being the first page like. So, funny story. I actually looked up the top 5 page likes, seeing as we're coming up to 500. Kyle Kelm was first. Mr. Ryan Brown was second. Colton Phillips third. Greg Rice fourth. And the man I apologize, Mr. Ty Batty, was fifth. I don't know why that was cool to me, but anyways, thank you for joining.
No worries.
And speaking of Kyle's, it just so happens 176, his name's Kyle. Kyle, I'll apologize now. I didn't check my messenger. If I mess it up, Kyle Fohner, F-O-H-N-E-R. Kyle, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. And the reason I'm saying it's Canadian is because Kyle is a page like from Erie, Pennsylvania. So Kyle, you've won flies, a package from Kyle. The 2 Kyles have already connected. And Kyle Kelm, double K, which I call Kelm Killers. You're sending a package to Erie, Pennsylvania, man. I don't know. It's probably not your first package to the States, but still pretty cool.
Yep, for sure. And I'll get in touch with you there, Kyle. And if you prefer some hair jigs or some tube jigs or something like that too, we can make that work for you too. So
yeah, that's awesome. And Kyle, thanks so much for joining the page. I mean, even though we're called On the Other Line Canada, we're all about everyone joining us. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And he's actually got a pretty cool page called Chillbillies. This dude's like a hunting, fishing freak. So I think if anyone could get a prize pack, that's the best one. But again, I mean, 17 more likes. Who knows? Maybe we'll put something big together for the show for 500 likes in under 6 months. I think that's pretty cool.
Right on. That'd be sick.
We got some questions. Oh, Brody's asking Bobby questions. Bobby is on here, so I know he should be working, but I guess he needs to take a break too, right? So he's been a busy boy. We'll allow it. What do you guys think if the two of you are stuck facing off in week 2 together?
Well, we'll be facing walleye. So
Yeah.
I feel
Top
bad
4.
for Kyle.
So
The thing I like about that response is you both stared at me blank and you're like, oh, man, really?
well, only one person goes home in round 2, so
Yeah, like realistically,
let's hope it ain't me.
yeah. I only got it. It's like the grizzly bear thing. I only got to outrun someone else.
Yeah.
So there's 5 of us. I only got to outrun one other person.
That's pretty valid. Actually, Dana's got a cool question here.
I'm not
Now,
sure
me-
if that's the right attitude.
Well, why not, man? You're
What
not a
I'm going
quitter.
with.
Not saying you will beat Greg Rice and not saying Kyle will beat Tash.
No.
I'm just saying if it came down to week 2, no love lost, right?
Absolutely. I'm honestly concerned. Greg's a hell of a fisherman.
I mean, if anyone can do it,
Kyle Adam combo.
Kyle
That's gonna
Adam
be the
combo.
one right there. Yeah.
We're going to hammer the walleye.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll both throw flies. Streamers.
Sounds like a plan.
What size do you guys think it'll take for first place for that rod and reel?
For walleye? It's going to have to be over 30 inches.
Think so?
30 plus.
I'm going
31
camping.
Camping for you, Adam, involves you sleeping in your truck for the weekend.
No, it means me fishing for like 40 hours.
I've never seen someone fish for 2 days and sleep for 2 hours. It's interesting. Dana had a question on here. Have you guys ever targeted carp with flies?
I totally have. I've targeted carp quite a bit at Blood Indian back in the day, when I used to live up there. And they are a nuisance fish. They're not really fun to catch. They're just doing your part to get rid of them, basically. And when I started out catching them, it was more tactics changed. I didn't evolve, so I was catching carp instead of my target species of trout. So I got pretty good at catching them, learning the hard way until picked up on a new tactic, and then it went well. But they like to eat the small nymphs like your hare's ears, prince nymphs, copper johns, worm patterns. I find they have a very delicate bite. So if your indicator bobs at all, you probably got one nibbling and set the hook. And problem with them is even once you set the hook, there's really no fight to them. You haul them in like a pike almost. And yeah, they're different. I've
actually fished them on wire worms, which I've always found work really well. But
yeah, I got them on San Juan worms in the bow.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm yet to catch one in the bow.
Yeah, one day me and Jeremy got on them. Like we hammered them. It was at the outflow.
Oh yeah, you and Mort.
Yeah. Me and Mort got on them, just crushed them.
King of the beep.
I bet once.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is those things can live out of water for a long time. So if you are catching carp, make sure you bonk them on the head, because
we bonked them.
Throwing them on the shore doesn't work. The birds will kick them back in, and you're doing no one any favors.
And the other thing, guys, is when you throw them on shore, apparently dogs really like to roll in them, and then that's pretty gross. So people will get mad at you, rightfully so. So just put them in the garbage can.
Yep, chuck them. Get rid of them. You actually mentioned indicators, Kyle. We didn't talk about it yet. I brought one. These I see Adam digging already because I know Adam uses them. The Phil Rowley indicators. I actually brought one on a piece of line. I don't know if you guys were that cool or not, but I mean, maybe mine's not official edition. But these indicators are cool. Now, Adam taught me this, and tell me if I'm wrong because I'm no pro. Hook at the bottom, smaller taper to the top. Is that right?
I did not teach you that.
I'm positive Adam Turnbull taught. Kyle taught me that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That
Kyle,
way you don't lose your indicator if you aren't fishing a swivel or anything. The taper on the cone will go down butt against your fly, and it'll stop your indicator from being gone.
Correct. Now I actually tied one up here. So if bottom is hook, right, you get that pull. It releases just like that. Obviously, it's a lot easier with sausage fingers. But
one key with them is the little tiny loop that you make to or fold to put inside, you want to make sure that that tag isn't over the large end of the peg, or when it goes to when you catch fish, sometimes it won't come off if it's around the end of the peg. So just make sure that you got it tightened up so that your loop is nice and small inside the indicator, and then push it tight, because if not, it won't let go. And if you're running a long leader, say 12, 14 foot, which you do sometimes, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to land that fish with a 9-foot rod. Been there, done that.
Do you ever use thingamabobbers?
I used to occasionally, but I prefer the Phil Rowleys for the most part. They just they
Me
work
too.
better for varying depth, I find.
Yeah. So I do too, but sometimes I run like these really heavy stones, and I'll run like a couple of them. So I find, and I don't I don't have any of the really big Phil Rowley ones, so I use the thingamabobbers, and I actually do like them as well.
Yeah. The nice thing with them
False
is
casting with them, you'll get wind knots a little bit more. It's a little more pain.
Where are you typically finding those, Adam, online or?
The thingamabobbers is online's the only place I could find them now. I used to get them at Crow's Nest Cafe and Fly Shop.
Yep.
But now Susan's got the Phil Rowleys down there, which are great as well. So
yeah,
another really good indicator that they're hard to find, but if you can find them, they're pretty darn good. Or the airflow.
Man, I can't.
Screw on the top. Oh,
and you can get them biodegradable.
This is one of the new biodegradable ones. They've updated them, but they got a little, I don't know if you can see this, a little tiny screw. You unscrew it, you put your line through it, and then you put your screw back on. For fishing rivers, streams, or if you know you're going to be fishing shallow, they're pretty good.
So really the idea behind those is to make sure that you're just fishing a consistent depth as well, right? Because they're not like these where the indicator slides out.
Well, and a lot of times with the Phil Rowley, when you're learning, it makes things a little bit harder too, because if you whip that rod real hard, or you're not letting your line come all the way behind you before you start your forward cast, you'll actually pop that indicator on your cast. And if you don't notice it, you can be fishing a whole drift, or if you're on a pontoon boat, you can be drifting out there a while before you notice it, and who knows how many fish you missed.
Yeah, or like Clayton was saying, don't set them too tight because they won't release too right on those indicators.
Problem. It's a pretty delicate little bob or indicator, bob or whatever you want to call it, but once you get it mastered, they're a good tool for your arsenal.
Yeah. Hey, Popeye Mortenson's on here, Adam, so he probably heard you talking about him.
Kyle, now you said carp, you fish the Prussians on the fly rod. Have you ever fished grass carp? Because that's one of my goals this year. I know they're super spooky. So fly rod's probably my best option, I'm thinking.
Talk to Brody Hughes. It's funny. He actually just brought up grass carp.
I've never fished grass carp myself, but I've been tempted to drive the hour to go do it one of these days, and you probably know where I'd be going. So yeah.
Same place I'm going.
Yeah. With them, I think you'd want to go with a lot of your egg patterns, Alvin patterns, maybe. Something with a lot of browns in it. They like to eat that.
Like even a damsel, maybe.
Even a damsel. But there's a lot of the, like over in Europe, they have a lot of flies that are specifically designed for carp because they fish a lot of carp over there. Being it's something I haven't done, I would probably look towards the United Kingdom for fly patterns from there.
The carp craze is insane over
things
there.
Like this being used a lot, but I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to get Brody on the show. Hey, Brody, why don't you reach out to me? We're booking guests into June right now, so we can pump you for some tips. You said you're using a 10-weight rod, but maybe you got some other top secret stuff on there. It's funny. We should actually find a way to do an episode on how crazy Europe is about carp, seeing as we're talking about it. I don't know if you guys have read some of their magazines and competitions over there.
It's big.
Those things are tanks, man.
And the cool thing is like, as much as people like make fun of them for having their mats and stuff, like those guys take care of the fish.
Absolutely, they do, man.
It's pound for pound, big. They are one of the best fighters, apparently. So
yeah,
those guys
I have a gentleman on
battle.
On my Facebook, his name's Michael Norman, and he catches like 40, 50, 60, 70-pound carp, and they're huge. But he'll sit and like they'll sit in there. They call them bibbies. They sit in little huts for days. So
Yeah.
like, you think I'm hardcore? They do that all the time over there. That's like what they do.
This
I did
winter,
it.
I
One of those where
downloaded
they-
some carp magazines, and the only thing I thought was cool is they drive around in remote control boats to chuck bait. I'm sorry, but the minute we're adding remote controls to fishing, dude, I'm in. Let's go.
It does look pretty fun.
Or drone.
They're also big on their pike over there. They take good care of their pike over there.
Monster pike. I mean, another good guy to ask about carp would be Scott Connolly, right? I mean, that dude catches some pretty serious carp out there too.
Oh, dude's a legend.
Yeah, we're jealous. We're just a little bit jealous.
We were literally supposed to be come back from there on Monday.
I should actually have a Manitoba hangover right now and a whole bunch
We
of
had a
those
cool weekend,
certificates
but
coming.
like that would have been cooler.
Yeah, well, Marcy's coming to Manitoba. I'm not giving her a choice. Someone has to reel in my fish for me. I learned that this weekend. No pressure.
I was stoked on that doubleheader. Like, what happened? Honestly, I should have been over with you. Marcy was fine. She didn't need any coaching.
She didn't need any coaching at all.
You're the one who I should have been over there coaching through whatever was going on.
He needs assistance.
This will be
Oh,
the first time in my fishing career I can actually brag that my fish is bigger than hers.
Just don't let him set the hook. He likes to rambo it every time.
Oh, man.
I thought they
Yeah.
were coming out of the water. No, I set the hook pretty hard too, especially with them. I'm like, let's go. Here we go.
Well, that big sturgeon I lost, I'm still upset about, but I did it deliberately.
I just don't understand how they drop the hook like that, eh?
It's insane.
I know what happens. They wrap themselves in it, and it just puts awkward pressure and rolls it out. But it's so heartbreaking every time.
You don't get to the age that those fish are by being dumb either. Like some of them fish have been around 50, 100 years. So
I'm still upset. Brody's just saying
built.
that he used to haul carp from the Lethbridge University pond all the time. There's a lot of Dutch farms down there that have them in their ponds. And, of course, rich communities in Calgary have them. They have many things in rich communities in Calgary. I would agree with you, Brody.
Lethbridge has quite a few grass carp, which is on my list this year. They have goldfish, which is on my list this year. And then the Milk River just has a ton of micro species that are on my list. So,
yep. All right, everyone. Well, that pretty much wraps up the show for this week. Feel free if you want to connect with us on the Other Line Canada. My Instagram, I'm losing my mind already. At Living for Fishing. Kyle, where does everyone connect with you?
At @KFlies_Alta on Instagram. And I also have my personal page on Facebook, Kyle Kelm. I also have Double K Flies on Facebook, but I don't really run it too well. If you need a message, any three of those, I'd be more than willing to answer any questions.
We know how you are with tech, Kyle. Adam,
Yeah.
I know you need no introduction, but where do we get you at?
you can find me at the Horseshoe Kid across the board, guys. I dropped a new video today on YouTube, dropping them every couple of days. So check it out. Give me a subscribe if you can. And keep dropping them.
Mort's heart rate. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, yeah. That
You'll see
video is
us next
awesome.
week also, I do believe. So
What's that, Kyle?
we're coming back next week, I do believe. So.
Yeah, you're right. You're 3 weeks in a row. Anyone
Yeah.
that wants us to add you on social media, feel free to put your tags in here. Next week, Kyle is right. Kyle's going to be on the show 3 weeks in a row, and no, it wasn't designed that way. Next week, we're going to have the week 2 top 5 competitors for the charity fish on. I mean, we got Adam in the lead for sturgeon at 54, Kyle in the lead against Tash at 24-inch rainbow, Bobby and Paisley, the pike competition. Paisley's at 36. Bobby's at 32.25. Diane, I know, has a fish. I didn't see the measurement yet. And many more entries to come. So next week, we'll have the top 5 competitors for the charity fish on. I want to thank Kyle. Thank you for joining the show. Love you, man. As always.
Thanks for having me again, as always. It was a pleasure.
Adam, I'm interested to see what another week of beard growing will bring you. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining the show, man.
Always a good time.
Everyone have a good week. We'll see you next week on next week's edition of On the Other Line Canada.